Hey everyone, welcome to That's Peculiar. I'm Nathan.
I'm Andra.
And Andra has a show for you today, but
Yeah.
I am going to, fun fact today, because I recently just got back from a vacation.
All over.
And when I, pretty much. So when I was texting Andra, because we were supposed to, record, obviously. She's like, "Are you ready to record?" And I said, "No, I'm in South America." And she's like, "I'm confused. I thought you were in Europe." And I was like, long story. So here's the story. So we had originally planned to go on vacation to South America, Brazil specifically, and go to Sao Paulo and then Rio, and then fly to Argentina, Buenos Aires for a day, and then fly back home.
Okay.
And we fly non-revenue standby because of my employment with the airline.
Right.
So we get to the airport, and normally we can just check in online 24 hours prior before our trip, and it wasn't letting me this time. It was telling us to go to a check-in counter for document verification. And I was like, oh, that's kind of normal. Sometimes we have to show that we have our passports and whatever.
Right.
So we go to the counter, and the agent, she goes, "Okay, well, I have your passports." And then she goes, "Do you have your Brazilian visas?"
Oh no.
Yeah. I said, "Oh, no, I didn't know we had to have
Brazilian visas.
Yeah. And she said, "Oh, I don't think so either. Let me double check really quick." So she goes and she looks and she goes, "Yep, back in 2025, they started doing Brazilian visa. So if you wanted to visit from the US, you had to get a visa. And the visa is good for 10 years, which is great, but we had no idea." And so we're like panicking. We're like, "What are we going to do? We have no idea what we're going to do."
We booked a whole trip. Yeah.
So we had already paid for, our the place that we were staying in Rio, at least.
Yeah.
So we're like, "What are we going to do? There's no refund." And I thought he had picked a place that had a refund. And he said, "No, I don't." And so we're literally like, "Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to apply for the visa before we leave Phoenix, and we'll see what happens when we get to Miami." So she's like, "Okay, well, if you don't have it when you get to Miami, you're not getting on that plane." And I said, "Obviously."
Mhm.
So we're applying for that, and he's stressed out. I'm stressed out. And there's like really weird rules with the uploading of the picture that you can do. And we were both having issues uploading a photo that they would accept. And we're like, "Why isn't it working?" So that part was really stressful. So anyway, we get everything submitted. We pay the fees. And then everything online is telling us that it'll take anywhere from 2 to 10 business days. And we're like, great. Awesome.
Our whole
Who
trip.
knows? Our whole trip. So what are we going to do in the meantime? So we get to Miami and we're like, okay, well, there's seats available to London out of Charlotte. So we could possibly get business class there. So let's go to London, because we didn't want to stay in, Miami for however many days, because Miami is expensive and, it's in the US, and our whole idea was to get out of the US.
Yeah. It's Miami.
Yeah. So we flew from Phoenix to Miami, got rerouted to London through Charlotte. So we get to Charlotte, and then thank goodness we get business class to London. It was fantastic. Thank goodness.
Ah.
Yeah. So living the fancy life.
Yeah.
So we get to London, get to a hotel that he booked last minute, and we're both like, well, here we are. So he's stressed and upset because of like the money we are probably going to lose with our trip being messed up. And then he's also sad because he didn't want to go somewhere where we had to go do things, because when you're in London, you walk everywhere, you take the tube everywhere, and you don't just
He wanted vacation.
chill.
Yeah.
Yes, he wanted to do nothing but sit on the beach and like maybe walk around for food. Nothing of what London requires. And I said, I understand, and I'm really sorry that this is happening, but I'm also determined to have a good time, because here we are.
Yeah.
So we did go to his favorite restaurant in London so he could get his favorite meal.
Good.
And then we got back to the hotel, and we're constantly checking our emails, like maybe it'll come through. Maybe it'll come through. And he's like, "I'm just stressed." I'm like, "Okay, well, we were gonna go to the beach. I'll book you a massage." So I got him a massage booked for the next day, and then we're like, "Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll do this for a couple days, and then we'll go." I guess figure we were gonna go somewhere else, but I was just like, "Whatever. While we're here, we're gonna go do stuff." So
Mhm.
I got tickets to go see Hercules. I got him a massage booked, and I'm like, "Okay, that's the plan." And I was going through the emails just to make sure I have everything lined up, and our visas were done.
Yes.
And I just showed him the phone and I said, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "What?" I said, "Our visas came through." And he's like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh." So I literally had like booked other flights and we were making plans. And so I had to change those flights and we had to get back to Miami. And he had already like booked the next night. So we lost money on the massage that we had booked for him,
Right.
unfortunately. But we were able to sell our Hercules tickets for a little bit of money, but nothing what we paid for them.
Dang.
So, so the next morning, we go back to London Heathrow, get on a plane to Miami. Thank goodness it's business class again.
Yeah.
And then we get to Miami, and then we go through customs, go through all that, and then we get on a plane to we don't go to Sao Paulo, we go directly to Rio.
Yeah.
And then we get to Rio, and then we stay there for like the 5 nights and whatever. And then it was great. We just sat on the beach.
Was that everything Ross wanted?
It was. He got to do absolutely nothing. He got to turn his brain off. It was some of the we need to do a better job of trying to find food next time because,
Yeah.
some of the food was a little underwhelming,
Yeah.
but we did find a few places that had really awesome food. And then after we were there for, I think it was 5 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights, we flew on British Airways to Buenos Aires, and
Mhm.
we were there for 1 whole day. We got business class again on British
Nice.
Airways. Whoop,
Woo
whoop,
woo.
and then we got on our plane back to Miami, and I gave him my business class seat because he had to work
Yeah.
when we got home on Thursday, and I sat in premium economy, not the worst.
Yeah.
Back to Miami. No, we flew to JFK, just kidding. JFK, we were so close to missing our flight because we were like a half an hour late. We had to run through customs and run through security and
Mhm.
literally got to the gate to Phoenix and walked on the plane. Like that's how close we were cutting
I've
it.
done that. Yep.
So we did have a good time, and ultimately we flew 23,000 miles in a 10-day period.
Okay. So, for everyone listening, he did not explain any of this to me.
Nope.
And I said, "Hey, are you free?" And he goes, "Oh, we're actually in London this week." And I've had a lot of stuff that has caused us to not record. So I was like, "Okay, great. That's fine. Have fun." And then the next week, I was like, "Hey, are you free to record?" And he just goes, "I'm still on my vacation in South America." And I was like, "What?" Like, you were in London and now you're in South. So, like, I just sent him, like, a thing, like a face or something, and he thought it was about the podcast, and I was like, "Oh, no, 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 I don't care." Like, I'm confused because
And
you
I was like,
were
"What do
in
you
London
mean?"
and now
Yeah.
you're on a South American trip, and I was just like, where are you? I don't understand."
Yeah. So,
Uh,
yeah,
Also,
now you know.
anyone listening, let us know how this sounds because this is a new system we're trying out,
To see if
and
we like.
yeah, and so far,
I'm not mad at it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So,
sounds
we'll see.
great. We've had
We'll
so
see in
many
post.
problems with our old one, so, um, that is freaking nuts.
Yeah, it was wild.
It's wild, but it's also like, I'm glad you got the vacation Ross wanted.
Yeah, me too, because he was really struggling, and I was like, I'm like, "We're together, we're gonna have a good time." I said, "We are gonna have," I'm like, "I'm determined to have a good time no matter what. So even if we're where we really don't want to be, we're gonna go and make it worth our time."
Be
So
fun.
it was fine. And then we got home, and then he immediately got sick on the Friday after we got home.
Like, cold sick or flu sick?
I think it was like a cold flu, but I also think it could have just been from all the
It's
travel. He was just run down,
it
but he has a
could
sore throat.
totally be a fucking virus. We've had everything under the
Yeah, it's
moon and
been
sun.
Yeah, so he was sick all weekend. He's finally starting to feel like more normal today. He still has a sore throat and a headache, but he's not nearly as like dead.
Yeah.
So
Weird.
anyway,
Hi, I missed you. Do you like my new view?
I do. It's nice, and I think I like your new internet too.
Starlink. Although, let me tell you, last week on Riverside, it was shit.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was. It did not work. So that's why we're trying this new system and see if it's the system and not her internet. So we'll see.
I mean, it's probably, to be fair, a combination, but we had some other I didn't mean to say the site, but we've had some
No.
other can you just beep that out? Um, but yeah, we've had some other little issues, and maybe it's us. I don't know. So, I'm so excited for this episode because it's actually kind of like a famously insane episode, which we haven't done for a
Oh,
minute,
yeah.
which also means it's a tiny bit shorter and fun, but this is a fucking bananas story. Like,
Okay.
I had no
Me
idea about any of this, so we're just literally gonna hop into it, okay? In the late 18th century in rural France, sometime around
Of course.
1772, a
Of
boy
course it's gonna be in Europe.
France, specifically, at least it's not London. A boy was born into a world already defined by scarcity, and I looked up his name. His name was Tarrare. Tarrare, okay? I looked it up. It's spelled Tarrare, so naturally, you kinda wanna say Tarrare, but it's
Yeah.
Tarrare. I looked it up. What?
Do I know who this person is, or is this, like, someone I've never heard of in my entire life?
I had no idea about this human
Oh,
being, so I don't
okay.
know.
So his name he didn't change his name from Tarrar to something else.
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The exact details of his birth are kind of lost over time because it's I mean, 1772, so it's not like they have everything down.
Yeah.
And he was a rural family, so even more so, why would they keep note?
Mhm.
He was born near the city of Lyon, near an area known for, like, trade, textiles, agriculture. Life here was practical, but a little harsh. Families worked hard, ate modestly, and survived on what they could grow or trade. All sounds pretty standard.
Normal. Yeah.
Okay, we need to specify. Food was not a luxury, it was survival, okay?
That's why you said they ate moderately. They just ate what they could, and they didn't
Yes.
try to overeat. They couldn't overindulge.
So when Tarar began to eat more than anyone else, it was just unusual. It wasn't just unusual, it was alarming. So,
Huh.
as a child, his appetite didn't just outpace others, it seemed disconnected from, like, a natural stopping point. He would eat and eat and eat without slowing, without discomfort, without any visible sign that his body, like, recognized a fullness.
That's weird.
I know. Um, he also did not grow stronger. He didn't become large.
Wait, he didn't gain weight after eating as much as he was eating?
Mm-mm.
At first, I was thinking that his hunger hormone was broken, and then I was like, "Well, then he must be getting super fat." And then so now I'm like, does he have a parasite?
I was thinking of, like, do you when I first started reading this, have you seen The Outsiders? I think it's The Outsiders, and there's, like, a story within a story of, like, an eating contest.
Are we talking about, like, The Outsiders, like, the book that turned into the movie The Outsiders?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been a long time, so I don't remember.
Well, for anyone shout out Jack on this one because I had never even seen it or heard of it. There's a story within a story, so a kid is telling a story about, like, I think it's a pie eating contest,
Uh-huh.
It's brutal, and if you know, you know, 'kay? That's what I was picturing, 'kay?
Okay.
No. So he did not become large. He was actually thin, almost fragile with, like, soft, kinda loose skin, and I know, an oddly, like, distended abdomen after eating, so it didn't, like, protrude as much. By adole
Okay.
Yeah. By adolescence, he just ate whatever he wanted and was so damn skinny. I know, I hear. By adolescence, his condition had escalated into something that, like, bordered on, like, unbelievable.
And he still didn't get fat.
Nope.
What in the world?
One
Does he have the world's fastest metabolism?
We'll see. One widely I don't know what that means. A lot of people said he could eat a quarter of a cow in a single day.
Dang.
Even if exaggerated, the consistency across, like, the accounts tells us basically his hunger was not normal. It was not manageable, and at the time, especially for what they lived in, it wasn't understood. People didn't just, like, overeat.
Yeah, he's just eating and eating and eating, and everybody's like,
Mhm,
"You're not supposed to be doing that."
mhm. Food is not a luxury.
Yeah,
So, eventually, Tarrare's family, like, reached a breaking point because, imagine trying to feed a child who consumes
a
multiple
cow.
like, multiple times the amount of an adult every single day.
Yeah.
So there were no doctors that could explain it, no treatment, no solution, only basically a growing fear that he would starve the whole household.
Yeah,
So
which is a fair fear, I would say.
yeah. Basically in an act that, like, feels super unthinkable today, but was probably desperation, they forced him out, and he was, like, still very young.
Yeah, how do you know how old he was?
Hold on a second, let me
Like, I'm feeling like 12, 13, somewhere
Yeah,
around there.
it was somewhere really early. No, we don't have a specific day of, like, when they forced him out, but there is a
Dang.
timeline, so you can make a guess that he is anywhere from, like, ho honestly, actually, probably, like, 8 to
Even 8,
15
yeah.
in this
Yeah,
time.
that's what I was gonna say.
Um,
Okay.
so they forced him out, not just because they sorry, I was itching my eye. They didn't care, but because they couldn't truthfully sustain him.
Yeah, they couldn't keep feeding the kid that wouldn't stop eating.
Yeah. And they lived in a rural I'm not, like, for it, like, please don't kick your kid out if, like, you can't afford to
Yeah,
feed
but
them.
it was different times and different situations, and the community lifestyle was very different
When we
too.
get into it, though, this human just, like, absolutely ate so much that I don't know, it's pretty crazy. So, Tarrare was obviously left to navigate the world alone, carrying a
Mhm.
condition that would define and ultimately kind of destroy his life. That's not really a That's not like a I didn't just give something away. It's just like, can you imagine, like, even at such a young age, you were kicked out of your house for eating too much?
Oh, I ate too much, but I can't help it, I'm hungry, I have to keep eating.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
so once
that's so
alone,
interesting.
Terrar entered a phase of life that was perhaps maybe, like, the most revealing, but also the most disturbing. Without structure, without supervision, without limits, his condition escalated.
Okay, I'm sorry, he got forced out and did what? Lived on the streets? Lived on the road? Like, what? Where'd he go?
Well,
Just by himself?
he at first survived by begging, so on the streets, but
Uh-huh,
even generous strangers could not provide enough food to, like, satisfy him. So
that's crazy.
soon he turned to scavenging, digging through, like, refuse, consume
Trashes and
yeah,
stuff.
um, even, like, meant for animals or waste. Um, Even that wasn't enough.
What?
His hunger pushed him further. So, accounts by many documents later by military physicians, and we'll get into that, but they described him as consuming rotten meat, offal, which and animal organs, so
Bleh.
and then, like, anything found along the roads. And then, increasingly, he eventually started going towards live animals, cats, dogs, snakes, lizards.
And just eating them alive?
Witnesses described him as grabbing animals and consuming them raw, sometimes swallowing them like, you know, what is that? The old lady who ate a fly, the old lady who ate a
Yeah. She
taxi
swallowed a
cab.
spider that wiggled and jiggered, and yeah, she got up to a horse and she died, of
So when
course.
I read this story, like, that actually was popping in my head. There was a woman who swallowed a horse, of course. But it's it's just they said he basically swallowed some of them whole, and other times tearing into them, like, with frantic urgency.
Yeah, like he's starving because he was.
So this wasn't performance, it wasn't spectacle, this was survival
He actually
for him.
wanted and needed to eat.
Yeah.
That's wild.
This is something later that they described as closer to, like, compulsion and instinct, which I just wanna note that.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
eventually, Tarrare's condition drew attention not from doctors, but obviously performers. So in the 18th century Europe, traveling shows thrived on the unusual. People paid to
Uh-huh.
see
He
what
became a sideshow?
what they didn't
Oh my god.
understand, such as giants, contortionists, human oddities, which is what he was.
Bearded lady.
So, except man who eats everything and is skinny. Tarrare became one of them, and he joined a sideshow of performers and began publicly demonstrating his abilities.
How do you publicly demonstrate? You just sit and eat for 5 hours straight?
Crowds gathered to watch him devour entire baskets of apples and moments, swallow stones, cork, metal objects,
What?
drink vast quantities of liquid without pause, consume live animals before their eyes. One of the most frequently repeated accounts describes him swallowing a live eel head first,
Ugh.
and its body was writhing, like, as it disappeared, and I guess you could, like, see it.
Gross. Ew. Gross, gross, gross,
I
gross,
know.
gross.
So I knew you were gonna feel that way about this episode because some of the stuff I read, I was like,
Why is he swallowing stones and coins and metal? Why? Why
but
are we
also,
swallowing that?
aren't eels, like, dangerous to the human body?
They can be. I mean, like unagi, if you go to like sushi, unagi is eel.
So, yeah, but what if you swallow a live eel head first?
I feel like it would try and bite you on its way down, but I think once it hits your stomach, it's
Don't
done
they
for anyway.
sting? Don't
I
eels have, like, electricity? I always think of, like, that scene in, Little Mermaid where they're, like, pushing their tails together.
I think that's electric eels have spark, but in general, depending on the eel
Oh.
type, not necessarily.
Woo, I'm so smart. I had no idea there was different eels than electric eels, okay. So, no illusions, obviously, no tricks, only Tarrare and a body that seemed to ignore everything natural. Okay, beyond his eating,
Mhm.
Tarrare's physical presence itself was pretty unsettling. Um, there was, like, a
Like what he
lot
looked
of
like?
yeah, there's a lot of noted traits. So, constant heat, maybe from the
He
eels.
hot?
His body radiated warmth, and he, like, sweated excessively even when resting, which I I put that
This
in there, but, like, to me, I feel like a lot of people sweat when they're resting.
but I think that when they say that he sweat, like, it must have been profuse
They put he was
while he was
continually
resting.
bathed in perspiration.
So he just had wet clothes? Ugh.
So,
He definitely something was definitely going on with that body.
well, also think about it, like, maybe if he had stuck with just food.
Why are you eating rocks?
Yeah, okay, why are you eating a whole eel? But,
I
like,
mean, that part but for a sideshow, I could see you doing that,
I could
and eels are edible.
okay, well, I don't know, but there was a constant overpowering odor.
Oh, he
So,
smelled bad.
this is the thing that's weirder. People said that the odor didn't like, he didn't necessarily smell unwashed. Like, he kept himself kind of, but it was like you could smell him at a distance. And
Of
this
what?
so, okay, it's described as many things.
That's what I wanna know.
Um, kind of like a rotting, but
Ew.
at the same time, he didn't smell unclean to people. So I kind of imagine like a formaldehyde mixed with like
So he didn't smell unwashed, but he smelled like he was rotting.
yeah, like from the inside out.
Like his breath was rank?
No, like worse than that. Apparently it like just came off of him. The
Oh, like
odor.
his sweat like he would sweat and it smelled
Yeah, and it smelled
like
like
yeah.
decay or like rapid digestion is like some of it, but like the smell like apparently worsened after eating. So people were like, I don't know.
That's so weird. I feel like, if we drink too much alcohol and you smell it on someone because it's coming out their pores.
Right. So imagine somebody who's maybe like
Who just ate rocks?
internally decaying. Yeah,
Like, yeah, like his body was that's wild. I don't understand this man's body.
no. So during meals, his stomach
Is this a true story?
yeah, yes. I know it kinda have you seen Big Fish?
Yeah,
Okay, it kinda reminds me of a story that would have been told in, like, Big Fish,
yeah.
but it
I
was
don't
real.
okay, I just wanna make sure. I don't want like, this sounds so fake.
It's not. So his stomach would expand dramatically during meals, like,
Mhm.
stretching outward in a way that seemed, like, unnatural, and then it would shrink again after, like, leaving loose hanging skin.
And what about never mind. I don't wanna know. I'm not asking.
So, despite everything he consumed, he still remained thin. His
I don't understand
body
I don't
what?
understand how did his body pass rocks and
So,
coins?
we don't know, but
That's what I wanna know.
it suggested his body either burned energy at an extreme rate or failed to, like, absorb nutrients properly.
Maybe both.
I do think though, like, honestly, I wonder how much of his, like when we go through, like, what happens later, I wonder how much is because of some of the crazy stuff he ate, like
Yeah,
metal and stuff.
coins
I
and
wonder if he
rocks.
had just ate food material, like, what would have happened. So,
Yeah,
um, during we're moving into the next, like, section of his life, so
uh-huh.
we just said he consumed and remained thin. This is also during the time for anyone who knows their history that this is, like, during the French Revolution War now, and Tarrare actually enlisted.
Okay,
At
so that's why you had mentioned earlier medical doctors from the
yeah.
military. Military doctors.
At first, it seemed promising. The army provided, like, regular rations, something he had never had basically consistently before. He got food.
Yeah,
But it quickly became clear even the military was
it
not
wasn't enough.
enough. He ate his rations immediately, searched for more, stole from fellow soldiers,
Ooh.
and then dug through the garage. garage, garbage.
Yuck.
So, still starving, he eventually actually collapsed from starvation and
Uh-huh.
was taken to a hospital. So, in my mind, it's pretty funny that he left being, like, a sideshow where he got to eat, like, clearly as much as
Everything.
his body wanted, but
Yeah.
was probably killing him at the same time, so
Yeah, he was doing his sideshow stuff, but he did get to put things in his stomach, which is what he needed,
right,
apparently.
apparently.
And now he joins the army, and then he collapses of starvation
After eating more than the rations, yeah,
because he's not getting enough.
yeah.
That is crazy. I could not I can't imagine.
Well, at the hospital, Tarrare became, like, a subject of medical study,
Oh, he became a curiosity.
of course. So, under observation of Baron Percy, doctors conducted experiments to understand his limits. So, he was an
Of how
experiment.
much he can eat?
Yep. Meals intended for 15 people were consumed entirely.
And oh my god. You know what? But according to serving size things on boxes, I am a family of 4. So,
Okay, but you're not a family of 15.
on a good day, I can hoof it down, but I would get sick.
You and I have both, like, ate
I will.
We didn't
Yeah,
just
uh-huh.
eat, we,
No,
like,
no.
ate together.
We ate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have
Mhm.
both done that. I don't think we ever came close, even combined, to 15 people.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So, raw meat was devoured rapidly.
Ew.
I know. Live animals eaten without hesitation.
They gave him live animals
I
too?
know it kind of annoys me, but I'm trying to remember it's 1777 in France, and I don't know.
Yeah, seeing, like, what his limits what where does he draw the line? He's like, "I don't. I
They
need to eat."
Yeah, they were just kind of like, "Okay, here's a live animal. Will you eat it?"
Yeah.
After giving him, like, 15 meals. Okay, so he would eat everything offered to him and still complain
Uh-huh.
of hunger.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Still hungry.
He showed
More.
"More, feed me."
More.
He showed no signs of fullness, no discomfort, only, like, a continuous need. So, in a decision that feels almost surreal, the military actually attempted to use Tarrare as, like, a courier. He swallowed a sealed container with a message inside intended to go through his digestive system.
Did it work?
Initial tests work. During a real mission, he was captured.
So they got it to why did they who thought, "Well, since he eats anything, we could technically put messages inside of him, and then he could just poop them out for the person he's supposed to read them." I am a message in a bottle, a human.
Okay, so I put, like, almost feels surreal, but when I read this, I couldn't actually stop laughing. So I was just like,
I
"Really? This
I
happened
don't
in history. This is real."
but why did they decide to put it inside of him when he could just technically walk up to the person and say, "This message is for you"?
'Cause I mean, he was captured and he sucked, but
Yeah, and now he's gonna poop out the message, and then whoever captured him is gonna be like, "Got it."
I don't know, could you imagine just, like, also being like, "I
Swallowing
have to go to the bathroom right now."
I have to go right now. Also, could you imagine if he made it to the person who he's supposed to deliver the message to? He's like, "You're gonna have to wait about 4 more hours. It's not time for me to go potty yet."
I'll just hang out here. So we'll be
"Got
fine,
any
right?
food?
Yeah, got a whole cow.
I am starving." Maybe that'll help get things moving.
Gross.
Some coffee, maybe?
Coffee, probably. Well, he was detained and threatened, so obviously the plan failed, and he was returned.
'Cause he ate too much.
No longer seemed as useful, but just like a curiosity,
That's wild. Like, we don't want him because he won't shut up about how hungry he is. Take him back. But we also
well,
don't wanna kill him, so
he went back to the hospital for tests. We're taking a kind of dark turn here,
oh god. We're having so much fun.
you know. Back in the hospital, Tarrare's behavior became increasingly disturbing. He was caught drinking blood from patients,
Ew.
eating medical waste,
Oh,
and
what?
scavenging relentlessly.
I don't w w that must have been why were they not keeping well, I mean, I guess even when he was eating all that food, he was still saying that he was still hungry, so what is it I mean, he must have been driven by some primal pull to eat anything he could, but drinking blood from patients is a bit much for me.
Well, then came the most chilling moment.
He didn't start eating cadavers, did he?
A young child disappeared.
In the hospital?
Mhm.
He ate a child, allegedly?
Well, there's no proof linking him.
Allegedly.
No, there's no proof linking him,
Yes, I'm saying allegedly he ate a child.
but suspicion fell on him because he was caught with all the stuff and
All the
given,
weird
like, everything else.
yeah.
Basically, he was now known as, like, a person who ate the child. I don't I don't think so, because he's around people all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, if he also, I think it might also depend after he started drinking blood and things like that, that might have, like, triggered something, and then depending on, like, the age of the child and things of that nature, he probably could have thought, "Oh, looks like a rabbit or a small animal type size. I could devour that really easily."
When I read it, I think the child was, like, a child, not
But
a
also,
baby, not a toddler.
if he's eating a child, would there not be blood and a mess? I don't know how it wouldn't get linked.
Well, he can eat animals whole.
Not but he cannot unhinge his jaw and shove a whole child down his throat.
Yeah, so I don't personally believe that because what would have stopped him at any point from, like, doing that?
To anybody, yeah.
Yeah, like, the
I
army,
understand that.
I imagine people probably died in the army and he, like, didn't eat them.
As far as we know.
Ooh, yeah, that's gross. So, basically, he was expelled from the army.
And so therefore had to leave the hospital.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So weird, right. So originally, I was doing his death first. I switched it because at this point, I was like, "Hmm, what could explain this?"
Explain what? His death or being or the part after the army?
Oh, just all of it, like, I was originally doing his death, and then I was gonna do, like, a what are the theories that are out there, but I decided to switch it because at this point, when I was researching, I was like, "What the hell?" Like,
Okay.
why could this person just, like, do all of this? So,
Yeah.
modern medicine offers theories, but actually no definitive answers, and, my true nature to tell you there's no answers.
That is so frustrating because I want to know.
You know, but there's
Ugh.
possibilities.
Okay, yeah, the fast metabolism that just constantly burned is probably
Hypothyroidism.
that's probably the closest one and probably the one.
Well, there's also hypothalamic damage affecting hunger regulation.
It probably was a combination of things like that.
Then there's polyphagia. I looked all of these up.
Polyphagia, that sounds familiar. I feel like
Um,
I've heard of that.
hold on. Actually, I put the pronunciation, but not the definition, so hold on.
Polyphagia. I'm sure he had a combination of the hypothyroidism or hyper or whichever one it is, and then his hunger hormones not working, and I
Polyphagia is just excessive hunger.
okay. I think it was a combination of a lot of different things which allowed him to be able to do that, but then I also think over time, because of that desire and need to eat, he slowly slipped into, like, almost a psychotic kind of tendency, I wanna
Right,
say.
right,
Like, he was so hungry all the time, it made him crazy.
right, which is fucking crazy. Sorry,
Yeah.
excuse my language. No one is fully able to explain, like, his ability to consume non-food objects.
And not die, considering he
Yeah,
ate rocks. That's
or
what I still don't
metal.
understand. Or metal. I um, that's my biggest thing is, like, how did he not get sick from eating non-food?
His lack of weight gain,
Mhm,
his
mhm.
extreme odor, his behavioral escalation. Basically, they kind of have summed it up to it's possible that Tarrare suffered from, like, a combination of conditions,
Yeah,
both physical and neurological.
yeah, I agree.
I agree too.
I agree, Doctor Archibald.
Yep. So, years later, Tarrare reappeared because he kind of disappeared for a while. There's, like, not mention of him for a while
Yeah,
after he was, uh, given up on by the army,
mhm.
but he was gravely ill later, when he
Like,
was
malnourished kind of ill?
well, he went back to Percy, and
Okay.
under Percy's care, he exhibited severe weakness, chronic illness. Today, they're saying maybe it was tuberculosis.
Huh.
He died around 1798, still in his 20s.
He was still in his 20s.
So, I know. So, everything that had happened, that's why I said maybe 8.
That's crazy, cause that's a whole lot of stuff to happen in a very short amount of
Yeah,
time.
he became a sideshow,
Went to the army,
went to the army, was
swallowed
kicked out of the
messages.
army.
Well, first he got captured,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
he got kicked out of the army.
Actually, first he was a medical experiment,
Yes, and then he was
then
a
he was
courier.
a courier,
Got captured.
unsuccessfully,
Yeah.
yeah, was captured, and then went
Potentially
back.
ate a child.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's super crazy.
He was so young, but I mean, I feel like that makes sense to me though, given his issues with his, like, hunger and all that thing. I don't know why I was, like, assuming that he would die at the ripe old age of 65 or something.
Yeah, I think it's the world we live in today, who's still in his 20s.
Yeah,
Well, there was a final examination.
after his death?
Yes, but keep in mind it was in
That's
1798.
o that's okay, they dug around, and I'm
It
curious to
just
hear some of the results.
what I mean is the results are not as gratifying as maybe if we had done an autopsy on him today.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, they found actually more questions.
No, I don't need any more questions for this guy.
He had an enlarged esophagus.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
I mean, that's how he could swallow things
Swallow things
whole.
whole.
A massive stomach, and
Well, I mean, I'm sure he stretched it out after eating all of meals for 15.
he also had advanced internal decay. So his body was
So he
decaying
so he was decaying from the inside
from the
out.
inside out, living. The stench actually was unbearable, and the examination could not be completed.
Wild.
I know. So even in death, people couldn't understand him. The final reflection I have, Tarrare was not just a curiosity, he was a medical anomaly
Absolutely.
and a person probably failed by the knowledge of its time, and a human body pushed way beyond its limits.
I feel like even if he was in like to be alive today and go through that, I still feel like they would not be able to get answers.
So, I think that's true. Today, his story is studied,
Yes.
not for a spectacle, which is probably why we haven't heard about it, but it's for insight. So, like, maybe if I was a nurse, maybe I would have heard about Tarrare before.
Hmm.
Basically, what a lot of people question is, like, what happens when the body's, like, most instinct behavior is broken, such as hunger?
Hunger, yeah.
What about breathing? What if that stuff is broken?
Yeah.
You just don't naturally do it.
I wonder if he was to be alive today, like what would they do differently to try and treat it? Or would they just say, like, you know how there are people that have to eat intravenously and they like have these packs of nutrients that they just
Yeah.
have that they wear overnight? I wonder if they would set him up with something like that he just wore constantly.
I feel like you are on the right like, I think he wouldn't have had to go be a sideshow, join the army, like, I think there would have been a lot more options for him for survival today.
Yeah, I don't it he def there would be no cure for sure because I don't think they would have any answers,
I
and
think
all they'd
he'd
be able to
still
do
be
is
an
they'd have to
anomaly.
just yeah, they would just have to treat the symptoms and treat the hunger. And I'm wondering if he was able to keep eating like he wanted to, if he wouldn't have, eaten live animals whole, possibly a child, drink human blood.
Metal, rocks, yeah, like, that's what I
I
was
think
saying, if he was born into a family who could have, like, maybe given him a little bit more, I don't, because it really got out of control after he was out of his family, like, kicked out.
yes,
So I
but
wonder if yeah, I wonder if maybe they could have provided more if it would have been fine.
I honestly I feel like the rocks and coins and metal bits and things might have just been
Sideshow?
sideshow stuff just because it's weird and crazy, you know what I
I
mean?
think it was a way for him to make money so he could eat.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Um,
well, cool.
so I have some sources.
Okay.
There is the Baron Dominic Jean Percy. So it's Percy is his last name, Military Medical Observations, and you look up like the late 1700s.
Mhm.
There's early French medical archives on anomaly cases.
Oh, that's
Look
cool.
that up. Then there's Jan Bondeson. It's Bondeson, who wrote about the two-headed boy and other medical marvels. You can find some of his information there.
Okay.
There's also the National Library of Medicine and the secondary historical analysis of Tarrare's life and condition. So I mainly got everything from the Baron Dominic Jean Percy medical observations and then the National Library of Medicine. The
Cool.
secondary was useful, and then Jan Bondeson kind of actually used quotes from the Dr. Percy. So, just so everyone knows, that's where I got everything. It's cool to look up. There's also way more information out there at this point. I even saw, because it was a school, maybe it's Stanford. Let's just say Stanford, but I don't know if it was. There are schools that are studying them, or him, Tarrare. So there's also like studies at local universities that you can also look up. I just didn't. So
All right.
yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. That's a crazy story.
I know, wasn't it? Did you have
I like
fun?
Oh, I liked it very much. So,
Good.
thank you everybody for joining us today on That's Peculiar, and we
Mhm.
will see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. We are so glad to be back on schedule. Please continue to listen and share our podcast with your friends. We truly appreciate your love and support.